AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Matt, Alondra on site here. Muse and Paulie back in studio. We're at the garage. This is Gordon McKernan's office, the podcast studio. About once a month, we do a show at one of Gordon's properties. Remember around December, we did the bicycle. We're at Gordon's main office for the bicycle giveaway. Previously, we've been at Court to Table. Now we're here today at the garage, which is an awesome space. If you haven't, if you're not familiar with it, it's such an awesome gift, quite honestly, that Gordon has given to this community. If you want to host a podcast, he lets anybody use this space, like literally for free. You just have to schedule. So call up here to the garage, schedule your time, and they'll produce your podcast for you for free. So really awesome space. We're looking forward to having G here in about 15 minutes from right now. He'll join us on site. We'll talk plenty of NIL, all the stuff that has going on. So always appreciate those convos with Gordon. So we'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. All right, glad to have you hanging out with us here. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. And as soon as I'm done with the show here today, I'm jetting over to Fred's in Tigerland, our friends over at S&P Food Store. Nicholson right there across from Tigerland. They got their rare whiskey raffle, proceeds benefiting St. Lillian Academy, which is, of course, my son Drew's school, a great special needs school here in town. And always appreciate the opportunity to help them, raise money to advance their mission and help families of special needs kiddos and to raise awareness as well. I'll be streaming, if you bought tickets, I'll be streaming the raffle on my personal YouTube and Facebook, so you can check it out there. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here with us. Mel Kiper has put out his pre-combine mock drafts. This is mock draft 2.0 for Kiper. No surprise at the top. Everybody's got Fernando Mendoza going with the number 1 overall pick. So that's what I think everybody's going to have and will continue to have. And that's what's ultimately going to happen. Caleb Downs, number 2 to the Jets, is a little surprising. It's just because safety isn't typically a position, a premium value position that you would see a high first-round pick. I mean, it would have to be a player like Jamal Adams, who's a top 10 pick. Caleb Downs at safety. Kiper notes that this would be the highest draft slot for a safety since Eric Turner went number 2 overall in 1991. By the way, you might be asking, who's Eric Turner? And that's why you don't take a safety at number 2 overall. But that would be something the Jets would do. And again, the Jets took Eric Turner at number 2. They took Jamal Adams, I believe it's 6 overall when Adams went. And Adams was a great player until he got injured. But of course, they traded him to Seattle. But in any event, the Arizona Cardinals, he's got taken David Bailey, outside linebacker from Texas Tech. Arvell Reese from Ohio State going 4 to the Titans. Giants at 5, taking Spencer Fano from Utah, offensive lineman. First receiver off the board at 6 to the Cleveland Browns. It's Carnell Tate from Ohio State. And then Sonny Styles, who we've seen some mock drafts that have Sonny Styles going to the Saints at 8. Inside backer there. They have Sonny Styles going 7 to the Washington Commanders. And then at number 8, Mel Kiper, making me very happy, has the New Orleans Saints taking Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver from USC. Now, we talked to Ross Jackson a day ago, LouisianaSports.net. Ross Jackson has his latest 7-round pre-combine mock draft, and he also had the New Orleans Saints taking Mekhi Lemon. If Carnell Tate is, in fact, the first receiver off the board, and he's off the board before the Saints pick at 8, the Saints would, in theory, if they went receiver, be choosing between Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson. One thing worth watching at the Combine this week in Indy is what the reaction is going to be to Jordan Tyson, because I don't know if you saw the story today, but Tyson, who is the fantastic receiver from Arizona State, but has just dealt with injuries throughout his Arizona State career, missed 3 games this past season with a hamstring injury. When you start talking about, listen, you break a bone, like that happens. It's part of football. I mean, that's why Tyler Shuck's injury history didn't necessarily scare me off. When you're talking about a broken collarbone, a broken leg, like those are things that happen in a collision sport. If you were talking about soft tissue injuries, ligament tears, that's when you start to get a little more leery, like, is there something structurally the matter? So you start talking about Jordan Tyson having a hamstring injury that cost him 3 games, some of the other injuries he's dealt with, that's a little more problematic. So Mekhi Lemon at 8 overall to the New Orleans Saints, I think would be a fascinating option. He's 5'11", 195, so he's physically built a lot like Chris Olave. Now, I would prefer to see stylistically a different receiver. I'd prefer to see a 6'2", 205-pound receiver, longer, bigger catch radius. It's a different option to present a defense, but it's hard to argue against Mekhi Lemon's productivity. 79 catches, over 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns this past season for the Trojans. As a sophomore, 52 catches for just under 800 yards, and then was seldom used in 2023 as a freshman. But the point being, you have a guy there in Mekhi Lemon who is roundly considered one of the top receivers in this draft class, and y'all know my feeling on it, man. I'm looking at what is something that what is a position, looking at positional value that you can get at 8 that you can't get anywhere else in the draft. And thinking you're going to get, and you know how I feel, it's the positions. I mean, you're talking about an elite level left tackle, quarterback, edge rusher, cornerback. In this instance, we could make the case for receiver. A lot of that, I think, is also rooted in the Saints' need for offensive weapons to help complement Tyler Shuck. But the one thing that I'm going to continue to push back against until April, and y'all know I'm going to say it, I'm going to keep saying it, is a running back. And Kiper has Jeremiah Love going 1 pick later, 9 to the Kansas City Chiefs. So if you're wondering, Reuben Bain, 10 to the Bengals, Francis Maui-Noah, the offensive lineman from Miami to the Miami Dolphins. And then at number 12, Mansour Delane to the Dallas Cowboys. So see if the LSU corner can goes that high. He would be in that instance the first cornerback off the board, with Jermod McCoy from Tennessee a pick later to the Rams at 13. But of course, McCoy missed this past season with a torn ACL. So how much of a hindrance is that going to be? Big week, it would feel like, for Mansour Delane with the combine this week to go out there, if he does in fact run and work out, to see how high he can climb. If you're interested, Jordan Tyson, Kiper has going 14 to the Baltimore Ravens. And some other names that are interesting: Peter Woods from Clemson to the Jets at 16. We'll keep an eye on this as we continue to move through. He does also have Ty Simpson in round 1 at 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It feels a lot like the Kenny Pickett pick that the Steelers made several years back. So all of that, just one man's opinion with Mel Kiper looking at his pre-combine mock draft, and certainly all those things will change the more information we get, and that information will continue to evolve with the combine this week. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you with us. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's where you can go get more information about Our Lady of the Lake, about their Championship Health Partnership. And we always talk about the lake with respect to healthcare, about 2 things that everybody wants when it comes to healthcare. You want access and you want convenience. Our friends at Our Lady of the Lake provide both. If it's world-class care with specialization, be it cancer, heart, stroke, pediatrics, orthopedics, they do it all at Our Lady of the Lake. And of course, they have Lake After Hours, the Lake Urgent Care Clinics. It's Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. All right, Gordon's here, and because he's kind enough to let us use his space, we'll welcome on the man here in just a quick second. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back here from the garage, Gordon will join us. Very excited to talk about what he's got going on, including some NIL stuff. Since last we spoke, LSU has hired Lane Kiffin and signed I guess they'd already hired Kiffin. They had not yet signed the transfer portal class. So I want G's take on that. We'll talk about the future of the men's basketball program, everything Gordon's got going on. That's next here. We're at the garage. Gordon will join us next. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
Hey, if you got an event coming up in 2026, I want to remind you about the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Two amazing hotel properties. And Allison Crumps, my friend, is the events coordinator at both Watermark and Renaissance. I love what she says when it comes to hosting events. She says, we're in the business of saying yes. So however they have to manipulate their space, they'll do it to make sure they can accommodate your event, whatever event. Maybe you have a fundraiser for as many as 500 people. The ballroom there at Renaissance on Bluebonnet would be a great option for that. Maybe it's a wedding reception. Maybe you got a board meeting that you want to host. I mean, think about the old bank vaults at Watermark Baton Rouge downtown. They've hollowed out those vaults. They've got fully equipped, technology-equipped boardrooms where you can dine in there and have your board meetings. It's Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. Two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. For your next event, call Allison Crump today. She'll get you set up at Watermark or Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Climb up in the loft, set and talk with the radio on. She says she's got a dream.
Rolling along here, Tuesday edition of AFR. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Very pleased to be joined by Gordon McKernan here at the garage. Hey, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you for opening this space to us.
Yeah, well, that's what it was supposed to be for anybody in the greater Baton Rouge area who wants to come and have a voice to the community, as long as it's not profane or something like that, right? But if you have a viewpoint that you want to share, or you want to have a podcast, then Brandon here, who runs it for us, does a great job. He'll get in touch with him, and we can have your voice heard.
I mean, this really is kind of, it's a one-of-a-kind thing to build a space like this, which is beautiful, but also then just to, quite literally give it to people.
Yeah, well. Look, this community has been great to me and my family, and just a small little thing we can do, give back. Just had the idea, and I really hope it'll take off. But this year, that's going to be Brandon. Some others are going to really be trying to. I could see a pastor from a church who wants to have a local podcast, something like that. A political figure could do it. Any of these athletes who are building their own NIL brands could do it. So there's a lot to be done with it.
Yeah, people ask me often, as you and I have gotten to know each other over the years, you talk about Gordon being a good guy. Is he really a good guy? I mean, they see you on TV or commercials or whatever. And I'm like, no, I would tell you the biggest takeaway I have of getting to know you is that I think you're someone who genuinely cares about people in this community and family, and you want to give back to this community.
Yeah.
And you do it all the time. The philanthropic, I think, arm of what you do is maybe the most impressive thing of all of it. So, this is just another example of it.
Yeah. So. Well, it's fun to do. The old cliche, it's better to give than to receive. It really is true when you see it. Little things you do and the marks you can make in people's lives, it's just good.
Well, the last time you and I were talking on the show, if I'm not mistaken, it was when we were at Court's Table.
Yeah.
And LSU had fired Brian Kelly. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't.
That was 2 times ago.
It was 2 times ago, because the last time we talked was when you were doing the bicycle giveaway.
That's right. I came to the studio. Yeah.
We were at your main location for the day of the bike.
Oh, yeah, that was. That's right.
For the day of the bike giveaway. Yeah. So LSU at that point had hired Lane Kiffin, but they hadn't yet built the roster.
Right.
Okay. So let me get an opinion from you on building this roster.
Yeah. Well, the headlines first. I think people appreciate some of the peeling back of the curtain, like the Brian Kelly episode, I think was a really well-received one, because we kind of talked about some things that maybe people don't have an everyday kind of insight to. And same thing here, without divulging trade secrets, which are not. But the first thing is there's a really good team at the helm building this roster, right? And just watching the difference in the building and outside the building. I say in the building, when you talk to the people who've been there a while, not the coaches who get transitioned out every, however many years when they have to do a new administration, but the people, and there's a different feeling. They look up and they see progress, and they see the the lane at the top and Billy below him, and those guys doing the jobs they're doing, and it feels different. That's the first thing. There's just a feeling that's really different. And then you take Lane, right? He has a vision for what he wants to do, but then Billy is, the modern day Austin Thomas. And Austin did a good job, but there's just something a little bit different about Billy. A little more relatable, perhaps, He's very driven and he's very methodical in how he's doing it. I think when you look at this roster, you're going to see his fingerprints all over it. And when I first got to meet him the first time, I never had the idea that they would track metrics like he was doing. He was talking about the metrics that made Ole Miss so successful. And he started talking about, we had the 21st biggest payroll, but we were number one in playing time of the players that we had. And he had there's like 89% of our players that we got in the portal actually played on the field, whereas a lot of times we're getting these kids and they're not panning out, but they were very, very sharp in terms of who they selected, and actually they performed on the field, how many plays. They track a lot of metrics.
Maybe this is sort of dovetailing into that. One of the things that I heard pretty commonly was the evaluation. That's a word that they often use, like how they go about evaluating the talent.
Right.
How could you maybe elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, well, it's definitely, Lane has got some Saban indoctrination in him, right?
Sure.
It's not all about the metrics, right? So there's the character aspect, and there was a lot more, it seemed like holistic in how they were evaluating kids. I know Ed Ogeron was very much a combine guy, right? Did he look right? Did he, did he have the right numbers? It sounded like Brian Kelly had kind of just left it to the other guys to do, and he didn't have as much of it. This one seems more holistic, right? They're borrowing from Saban. They want the character kids, and they want good kids, but at the same time, they know you need some dogs in there, right, to win. So it's a good combination from what I can tell.
Gordon McKernan's with us. The other thing I wanted to touch back on is you talked about the feeling, right? It feels different. If you were going to elaborate and talk a little bit about that, what would you dig a little deeper on that?
Yeah, and this might sound funny, but right now what I'm seeing is a very quiet confidence, and it's hard to think Lane being quiet, right? But it's just, there's this feeling in the building that we've got something special, right? We've got the right coach, we've got the right staff, and now we have the players, the whole roster that can really do something special,
But is it in, you say like internal, like from the people who were there before?
Yeah, like there's staffers that stay there and they go back 5, 10, 15 years, right? They're just football staffers. It's like a political administration, right? The new president comes in, they get rid of a bunch of people, but then there's some people that just stay there from one administration to that. There's just seems to me to be a little different feeling, like, wow, we've got something special. They've looked back, they knew the last administration wasn't the right one, and now they openly talk about it and all the things inside of it, right? And this one's different, and it's.
I'm sorry. Do you think those things were things that they knew? I'll just be very candid, okay? So, like, you're talking obviously about Brian Kelly and things not working. No one ever makes a hire thinking this is not going to work.
Correct.
Right? You make the hire, you make the investment because you think it's going in the right direction. And look, if we go back 12 months, LSU had the number one transfer. The reason I'm digging in on this a little bit, and I want your perspective, is LSU had the number one portal class a year ago. They spent a bunch of money. They had the thing that was lauded, and they had all the guys, and they were preseason top 10, and then it didn't work. So I'm like, okay, what's the different connective tissue that makes this different from that?
I think this coach and staff believes they can really coach. Last year, you're right, and because I shared a tweet. One of them, I guess you guys say, do you say X now or you say a tweet still?
I say tweet.
I don't know.
Other people who refer to X would say a post.
A post.
But I still say tweet.
But
I say tweet.
It was one sent to me of the 4 receivers that we had that are at the combine, right, and all that stuff right now. And there was 4 guys literally could go in the first round. And one of the coaches said, this is malpractice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They really believe, when they look at the talent that we had, like, they scratch their head and go, there was a disconnect.
I think the way that I've said it is the biggest indictment on the 2025 season will come over the 3 days of the draft. Because you're going to have, you'll probably have 10 guys drafted.
That's right.
And you're going to say, how did a team that had enough talent to have 10 guys drafted go 7-6?
And that's what they see. This place produces talent. It attracts talent. Now they're going to be able to coach that talent, and they're really confident in their ability to coach it up.
Is it sustainable? What do you think what LSU just did? Okay. That groan.
Oh, man.
All right.
Oh, I don't know if any of it's an arms race, right? It's like in the Cold War, right? How many nuke bombs is there enough? And everybody just keeps doing more and more. And you've got that university to the west of us, or two of them, that can change the dynamic. And they're still intent on raiding Louisiana for the best players, and they're still trying, and it's going to drive up the price.
So I think you hear conversations like off the record that are kind of the feeling like, I think Lane might have even talked about this recently, where he said the feeling generally is they're probably not going to have to do this again next year. Meaning go sign 40 guys in the portal.
Agreed.
So where do you think this settles then? If it's not going to the portal, sign 40 guys, what does, I don't know, maybe you've had these conversations, maybe you can disclose, maybe it's just a thought or opinion.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever, let's call it a salary cap per se, or our salary roster, ours, Ohio State's, Texas, and the other big spenders out there. I don't know if we retreat from where we're spending. I think the price of poker potentially continues to go up until there's a bigger solution from other forces nationally, or whatever is going to happen eventually.
What do you think that solution should be?
I don't know. Most people, you read commentators, they talk about a collective bargaining style system, right? Almost a semi-pro league. That's probably where it's headed. I mean, nobody really believes these are amateur athletes anymore, right? It's pro. I went to the football ops the other day, and I was going to meet with Lane, and the parking lot of the parking lot is definitely not the same as a few years ago or back when I was in college.
You don't have the old beat up Civic. No disrespect to Honda, but you got a lot of Raptors.
Oh, you got more than Raptors, man. It's I was like, whoa.
Well, I mean,
they're getting paid a lot of money.
It's not where I would spend my money,
right.
but if that's when you're 20
That's right.
and you want to
That's
go,
right.
you go do you.
That's right.
You said you met. You know what? I do want to. There's two. I'm gonna make a note because I want to come back to Lane in a second. But I said, what do you think the path is? Let me dig in as sort of to your attorney mindset.
Right.
Okay, I agree with you. They're pros. They're getting paid. We all understand it.
Right.
But judges consistently have not allowed them to unionize.
Correct.
So legally, what recourse is there, G?
They'll have to go through Congress to get an act passed, right? The National Collegiate Football Professional Players Act or something. And from there, they will outline all the structure within there, and then it's out of the court's hand, right? Congress passed it, unless it's unconstitutional, it'll be fine. And they'll model it after other acts. Yeah.
Why hasn't Congress done it already?
Yeah,
I'm asking you a question.
They're
I know
very
you
important doing all these things like tariffs and other things that they're having to do, and they have to run for re-election and those things. It just takes a little while. I think it's coming. I keep hearing Saban and I hear it lots of places, Saban and Trump talk about it. And I think the president does like football, and he always shows up at the SEC game. So I think if he thinks that that's a good path forward for him to gather some more support, attention, popularity, he'll do it. And I think America wants that.
I think we've heard the talk about Congress and congressional involvement for a long time. I've always just wondered why it hasn't. I don't know if there's just not support for it,
right,
or if it's just not been prioritized. I don't know the answer. Mm-hmm. I genuinely don't know the answer to it, but it would be great to see some type of structure,
a level playing field, a structure. Here's the playing field. Everybody's got to be on the same page and deal with it, right?
I don't think we're going to solve that here today, but it is an interesting conversation. Gordon McKernan's hanging out with us. We're here at the Garage, Gordon's podcast studio in Baton Rouge. If people want to book this space, what do they do? How do they get in touch with Brandon? They just call Brandon. Brandon, what's your cell phone number?
Let's put it out there online.
985.
You can go to our website, right?
GarageStudio.com.
GarageStudio.com.
Believe me. Putting your cell phone out on the show.
Put it on the taper. Put it on the bottom.
It is not a good idea. As someone who has had their cell phone number, no, not a good idea. All right, GarageStudio.com. GarageStudio.com is where you want to go. All right, I got a quick break. I want to ask Gordon about Lane Kiffin specifically. I do want to talk some basketball with you. I know that's close to your heart, but
it is. I
want to talk about that as we continue. Stay with us here. We'll continue from the garage with Gordon McKernan. It's AFR.
AFR.
Let's Rev, y'all. REV. Let's Rev.com. Let's Rev.com. Man, I love telling you about Rev. Rev was over at my house on Friday. David did an awesome job with our install. They finally got I shouldn't say finally. Our neighborhood was next. They got the fiber laid in our neighborhood. So now all of the internet underground. Don't have to worry about power outages, tree limbs falling on the power lines, knocking out our cable or our internet. It's all underground now. So we're fired up to have Rev, where they have an all-fiber network with lightning speeds and great pricing. With Rev, remember, the price is the price. It's not one of those things where there's this introductory price, and after a trial period, they jack up the price on you. No, like the price is the price with Rev. And they're backed by 90 years of being local in our South Louisiana markets. REV. Let's Rev.com. Let's Rev.com. 70,000 Louisiana home and business owners trust Rev. I do. You should as well. REV. Let's Rev.com. Let's Rev.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring at me.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, our coach. He's something. He's great.
Which coach?
Coach Kiffin.
We were talking at the break that he's at court to table all the time.
He is. He is a pickleball fanatic. Loves it.
I see the photos and videos on social media all the time of him over there. So have you played him yet?
No, I haven't. My son played him.
Okay, how'd it go?
Well, he's ultra competitive, right? I mean,
which one?
Both of them are.
I was about to say, your son was actually was a great quarterback in his own right.
We had a Super Bowl party at court table. I had invited him and a bunch of the LSU coaches, and he came and he played for probably 75% of the Super Bowl.
He wasn't even watching the game. Not interested.
But I was calling. I said, look, he said, I'm coming. You get some guys. But I said, yeah, my son John Gordon and my son-in-law John David. I think they'll want to play you. Well, are they any good? I said, well, they're just really good athletes. They can dink it, but they're okay, great. Because we'll play for some money. I'm like, all right, that's fine. And so they get there that afternoon, and his playing partner, I'm looking. I said, I've seen that guy before. And someone goes, oh, yeah, this guy teaches pickleball. He's a pro. And so they go back over the bar, and they start playing, and Billy Glasscock's there. I said, Billy, Lane brought a pro to play my son and son-in-law, who I told him they're really good. He goes, you don't understand. He'll do anything to win. He will stack the deck. He will think through things more than anybody else. That's what makes him so successful. So to your game against your son and son-in-law, he went and got a pro to make sure that, we've got you.
Hey, man, they were playing for money.
Oh, they were playing for keeps, and they beat the heck out of him. They did.
It was all about it, man. What else do you think about if you were to – because the interesting thing about Lane is we all see him on social media so publicly.
Yeah.
But people ask me, he's not even done an interview yet.
He's a public-private person. He really is. He's a forward-facing public personality, but he's really just to himself. He just has a few little things he likes. He loves his family, spends a lot of times with his children. He loves yoga, as we know. He loves pickleball and then football. And he's up at that office a lot. Yeah. I mean, he is up there deep in the night. He's there early in the morning. He'll text early and he goes, all right, I'm up here looking at film. I'm like, it's 5:15. What are you doing? But he's a lot of energy, high energy guy. But he is very private in that doesn't really want to do a lot of interviews. And he's, to go eat lunch in public. No, can we just eat at the football ops building? Things like that. So he's a little bit of a dichotomy.
Yeah. Do you think people in Baton Rouge right now obviously have embraced him?
Right.
I mean, for all the reasons that would make a lot of sense why people would, right? I mean, he picked you
Yeah.
He picked you. He had options, and he picked you.
Yeah, that's right.
And so people are going to love that and embrace that. Do you think his personality, though, being sort of introverted and not maybe being so public and forward-facing like that ultimately works?
But he will do what's necessary to get the job done. I've seen, I think he'll work a room and he'll do things like that. He'll get out on the road, meet with the donors. I mean, nobody really likes that, right? But he'll do what's necessary. And look, Brian Kelly didn't like to work a room, and he didn't like to shake hands and doing those things. He did a little bit of it, not as much as he needed to. But I think Lane understands the responsibility he has for being the head coach at Louisiana State University. And through comments here and him and Billy and others, he recognizes what he needs to do and be out and about. But he's not the type to go into the restaurants and eat for hours at, Geno's and hold court and table. He's not going to do that.
Yeah. As long as he wins.
If he wins, it covers a lot of things.
That's actually an interesting segue, because someone who hasn't won enough, obviously, is Matt McMahon. And it's, the basketball program means, I know, a lot to you and your family. It's year 4, Matt McMahon, and the consensus is always, man, Matt's such a nice guy. Everybody likes Matt McMahon. They just haven't won enough.
Agreed.
What do you do?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much more he can do, right? The cards are starting to, it seems, line up against him, right? Just with the new president, who's a good guy but has his own ideas of perhaps what they should be doing. You got a governor who's mildly interested in what happens out there, and he got a bigger NIL budget this year. It's not Kentucky and other things like that, but certainly should have some more success than we've had. Yeah. So I think we're starting to see some, and I haven't talked to Verge or anything else. Oh, he's gone. Anything like that. Just reading the tea leaves, you start to see the writing on the wall.
When we were at Court to Table, one of the things that you said was probably the most impactful thing you said in that interview that you referenced that a lot of people really enjoyed. When I was bringing up the $54 million buyout for Brian Kelly, and could you afford to fire him? And you said, could you afford not to fire him? And you start to look at, I think you said, the empty seats, the empty suites, the donors, you had to make the move.
Right.
So basketball is football is a different animal than anything else. Do you look at basketball through the same lens? Because, if they're going to fire Matt McMahon, it's going to cost over $10 million to buy out him and his staff. I think the exact number is 10.7 or 10.8.
Correct.
So it's a big dollar. And then pay a new coach. And a new
NIL budget. Yeah, all that.
I mean, we've talked about donor fatigue before. Is there an appetite to do that?
I think amongst it's interesting. The crossover in the donor basis doesn't exist like you would think it would, right? All the football donors don't necessarily give to baseball, don't necessarily give to basketball. There's some that go through all of them, but obviously football is the biggest donor base, and that's where the concentration of the money is. I do think there is an appetite among some of the donors that something has to be done. We're losing too much money. Our name ID, so to speak, in the college circles is suffering a hit. You don't like to see your brand ever get hit, especially basketball, which is still really relevant in today's times. So I do think that it's there. There's an appetite to do something, but it's not as deep and as wide as with football. I mean, football is we got to do something now. This is burning down the whole house. We've got to fix this, right? I think you're going to see some moves afoot here soon.
Do you think that there's enough? Look, if you look at the higher grossing basketball programs in the SEC, I mean, what do you think a ceiling is for LSU? If they crush it and nail it, you're talking about getting from making $2 million to making $6, $8, $10 million.
It's not going to be that much. I mean, without the NCAA money, right, the tournament money, it would be a lot less. But I think that's something like that. They just going to slot in a $6-8 million, hopefully, revenue profit one day, and that'll be it. And let football carry everything else. But I think you have to have the well-rounded university still from an athletic standpoint. Yeah. Basketball's too important.
That's the thing I keep coming back to. It's your biggest missed opportunity.
Yes.
It's because I understand the days of Dale and Shaq and Stanley and Chris, which we talk about a lot, are forever ago. But you were in a Final Four in 2006, but that's been 20 years now. And you haven't won a conference title since, was it Wade's second year with Tremont and that crew? And I mean, it's just, I wonder, the diehard basketball people, how invested are they to make this thing be relevant? Because, it's just, I say it all the time on the show. Man, when Selection Sunday rolls around and you know your team's name is going to pop up on a line, it's so much more fun.
Oh, it is. It is.
But you get to the point where it's been a minute and everyone's like, you just kind of forget about it.
Kind of get numb to it, right? You get complacent with it. And I agree with you. I think we have some apathy out there in the basketball base now. And I don't blame it. 20 years since we've done something. But I do think that Verge and the administration and the entire administration and administrations are intent on seeing a better product on the floor.
Do you think hiring Will Wade is a realistic option?
Well, there are certain people, powerful people, who want that, and I think some things have to fall in place correctly for that to happen. But I think there's a certain gentleman who would love to say, "See, I told y'all, he's here."
I mean, I've talked about it openly. I mean, last year the governor and Lee Mallett tried to make this happen, and it got cut off at the pass.
And now, who's our board chair?
Lee Mallett is the board chair.
Who's still our governor?
I ain't no doubt. You can want something.
I agree.
Will it actually happen?
I don't know. You're right.
And I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either.
And would Will leave NC State after one? I have no idea. I genuinely, I'm not trying to be coy here. I just really don't know the answer.
Agreed. He has a fondness for LSU, South Louisiana, but you're right. We don't know how he's loving and living in Carolina.
How cool would that be?
Yeah. That'd be something.
My wife don't even like sports, and she loved Will Wade.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about bringing the casual fan back in? That'd be incredible.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on with you before we wrap? What's going on? What's new? What can we tell people about that you have going on?
Oh, well, I've got Louisiana Loaded with Will Helmers. So you've seen that fine young specimen of a man.
He sat on that couch about an hour ago.
So that's a lifestyle brand that we've come up with, and I think it could be very exciting for Louisiana, just to let Louisiana know about Louisiana, because it's amazing that North Louisiana. Well, what does really North Louisiana mean to you? You live in South Louisiana, and the same for North Louisiana people. They don't really understand the culture of South Louisiana. It's different and diverse, and so this is an opportunity for us to kind of showcase Louisiana. So it's Louisiana Loaded, and it's been fun so far. So that's an interesting thing, and continue to expand other opportunities and businesses. That's great. I'm a grandfather now and about to be a second grandfather. A granddaughter coming in about 5 weeks. So that's exciting. So between grandparent and businesses and LSU sports and politics, I'm pretty busy.
They're keeping you busy, man, but I love to see it. We always appreciate you rolling out the red carpet and hosting us. The partnership's been great. We're very grateful.
And I love when I walk in, how you're all put together. I noticed the shoes, and you got the striped side. You got the dark ring on. You got the Apple Watch. I mean, you look youthful. I mean, I come in here and I look old or something. No, I'm telling you.
You just got off a mountain. No, listen, I'll tell you what. I had a conversation with our mutual friend Ryan Terrio years ago, and he said to me, I used to just be like, ESPN golf shirt, untucked old jeans, whatever. And he said, hey, even if you don't think it, people around town know who you are.
Yeah, I agree.
And you should probably dress a little nicer. I was like, you know what?
No, you did, but I walked in. I noticed. I said, look, he's got the. I don't know if they're Jordans or whatever, but
those are Air Force Ones.
See, I don't know. I'd have to have Watson in here, Jeff Watson, to diagnose what shoe. But I was like, okay,
those are Air Force Ones. We call them G Nikes. Those are the all whites, and it's very thoughtful. Thank you. But by the way, G Nikes,
G Nikes. We had some of those.
I mean, we should G Nikes. There we go. Thank you for coming in, man. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
It is After Further Review. We're powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I want to remind you about Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Remember, if you have mold, they'll kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. Our friends over at Parish Restoration. They're fantastic. Go to the website, parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. They'll always give you a free estimate. They'll come by, spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. That gets you cleaned up. And of course, if you do have any type of flu or any virus like that, it'll sanitize whatever space you have, no matter how big. So check out our friends at parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. VolkswagenDealer.com. All right, final break of the show. When we come back, Jimmy will be here for Otta Locks. Find out what we're betting on tonight. We'll do that to wrap up a busy. Please do.
Has anybody lost more money on lock of the week?
Hey, man.
Back in the day, I lost so much money on lock of the week. It's unbelievable. Lock of the week. Lock of the week.
Wait, you have to. You can't leave. Wait, he's gonna be on the phone in a minute. You can't leave because last time we did this, I brought this up to him. He's like, man, you lose one time. People never remember people never forget the losses. I'm like, no. Gordon was like very kind. It was great. It was complimentary. So about years ago, we're good. All right, we're gonna have some fun with that. All right, can you stay?
Yeah,
all right, don't leave. All right, Jimmy will be here to wrap up next. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. So I'll tell you, the lock of the week is South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or SouthPointVW.com. As a matter of fact, you go in the back of the garage right here in the studios. You'll see my Volkswagen Atlas Crossport because I'm a Volkswagen driver. I love it. Erica drives an Atlas. The 9 different IIHS top safety picks, all the safety features. I have so much peace of mind when I drive. I put Drew in his car seat when Erica leaves and goes to work, whatever the case may be, driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. And, of course, at South Point, they're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer because they have more inventory. They can give you better selection, better prices. It's at South Point Volkswagen. They're airline just north of Highland or online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com for South Point Volkswagen. Don't forget their certified pre-owned selection as well because they have so many new vehicles that they sell. People trading their old vehicles. You get how it works. SouthPointVW.com, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We're at the garage, hanging out with Gordon, waiting on Jimmy to get on the line. All right, how do you feel about his? So I have his picks actually right here. So he does this every day. Right, he comes on in the last segment of the show, and he gives us his picks. He's got his locks that we're going to get to. He does have how do you feel about an alternate line parlay? How do you feel about that, G? You feeling that?
No.
You're not feeling an all-line parlay? I'm telling you, my guy, when you get him into college basketball season, he's seen enough games, he kind of starts to get rolling a little bit.
Does he?
I mean, so he's got Kentucky on the money. So this is the 1, 2, 3.
Do we know how much Jimmy bets in a given season?
Let's ask him. Yeah. We got him? No? All right, he's not answering this. No, Biggie, we just call him every day at this time. Yeah. I don't know how much he bets, but I do know he bets every day.
Yeah.
And well, naturally, that's what he does. Right. But this is a 4-team alternate line parlay with Kentucky on the money line, Indiana on the money line, Duke -6.5, and BYU -3.5.
Right.
I mean, you want to get in a little bit?
No.
You're done?
No, I got burned by odds locks so long ago. I'm staying away from those things. So there was a book that was famous back 20, 30 years ago. It was like The Millionaire Next Door, right? And you never know the guy next to you is a millionaire. And there's these 10 things they do, and they drive an older car, they do this, they never buy this, all these things. So is that Ott? Is he really the millionaire next door from all the gambling winnings, or is he going to, flamboyant and showcase it?
Man, I don't think that Ott is the millionaire from the gambling winnings.
Yes.
I actually don't know that Ott's the millionaire. Well, we do got him. All right, we hit it. All right, Muse, hit the open real quick.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, what up?
What's going on, fella?
So here with Gordon, we're at the garage. And Gordon was wondering, are you what was it?
The Millionaire Next Door was a famous book about 20, 30 years ago. So that could be Ott. He's just slowly slaying it with all these winnings gambling. And he's just the millionaire next door, not living like it, and just trying to figure that out.
I don't know, man.
Multi-millionaire, G.
That's how successful he is.
I mean, I've been to dinner with this guy, like Bistro Nico, like a French.
Did he pull down the card, throw it down?
No, not even that. Like, he's out here ordering like coq au vin and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
he's got some culture.
He's sneaky.
Yeah,
he's sneaky. I mean, this is a guy that goes and spends a month at, what's the place out in California you go to, Otter? What's it called?
Del Mar.
He goes to Del Mar for a month every year. I mean, he's got to be.
Yeah, he might be that guy.
He's crushing it with these locks. Hey, Otter, G said that he kind of got torched on your
Back in the
last
day,
30
the
years
locks
ago.
of the week, I love it. And when you come off the top rope, locks of the week, lock of the week, lock of the week, lock of the week. And I would go for it every time. I don't remember. My older brother was convinced that you would tell half the people lock of the week in one way, and then a couple days later, you tell the other half the other way, and nobody can remember, and that way you're always winning 50%.
Yeah, I was doing multiple shows.
Otter, we literally have 40 seconds to the hard break, so fire away.
Look, Arizona responded on Saturday without stopping for the first time, but Cincinnati's hot, man. They're creeping toward the bubble. We're taking the Bearcats plus the points at Texas Tech. Utah has covered their last 4 or 5. The only one they didn't cover was by half a point on Saturday. So the last place team in the Big 12, but playing much better under first-year coach, a former Utah plus 13.5 at home against Iowa State. Oklahoma plus
Jimmy, I got 5
seconds.
Auburn. 5 seconds.
And Kentucky,
AFR.
BYU, money line parlay.
Thank you, Otter. All right, we got
Good talking, Jimmy. That was a good one.
As we get out of here, I got to remind you about Supper Club. You been?
Yeah.
You been? It's a great place, man.
Yes,
Brandon and Mackenzie did an awesome job
They
at
did.
Supper Club. One of the things, talking to Chef Layton, that they wanted me to make sure that we remind you is, look, we're into Lent. A lot of people are abstaining from meat on Fridays. If that's you, you can still go to Supper Club and have a great meal. If it's the scallops, the Chilean sea bass, no coq au vin. We can't do that on a Friday night. They don't have it on the menu either way. But the Chilean sea bass, the Ora King salmon, the king crab legs, amazing seafood options over at Supper Club as well. You're going to get a great dining experience. So book your reservation at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Go celebrate anything, an anniversary, a birthday, a graduation, a promotion, any special event, or any night. It's a great night to get by Supper Club. supperclubbtr.com.